Dear students, today we are going to discuss the exercise based on the poem The Laburnum Top, composed by Ted Hughes. Apart from the questions and answers, we will also try to find out the figures of speech employed in this poem. As we have already discussed about onomatopoeia, which is used in plenty in this poem, but there are other figures of speech also used in this poem by the poet. But before proceeding ahead, I would like to go for a fast recap of the whole poem. Though we have already read it, but I would like to revise it once more so that you can have a detailed idea and about the meaning of the poem. As you know, this is a relationship between a goldfinch bird and a laburnum tree. Laburnum tree is a small tree with hanging branches and yellow flowers. Its seeds are poisonous. Goldfinch is a small bird having yellow feathers, and this laburnum top is a shelter house for this goldfinch bird. She has nested there, and in this tree, her babies are also living. So, in the first stanza, the poet has given the description of the atmosphere of that particular time when the poet noticed all these activities between the laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird. It was a September. It was the month of September, and the time was of evening. There was a yellow sunlight falling on the laburnum tree top. It was still silent without any movement. That is, it was in static position. It had almost shed all of leaves. Some were still there, which were turning grey, yellow, and they were about to fall. Seeds were almost fallen from the tree. There is a goldfinch bird which arrives at the laburnum top, and laburnum top, there is a figure, you can have an idea about its look. Okay, the branches are hanging, and the goldfinch bird comes on any of the branches, that is main branch where the nest is nearby from. So it arrives here and makes a very fast movement like a lizard to reach up the nest. So this is the shape of the tree. You can just have a general idea about it. So a goldfinch bird comes there with a twitching chirrup. Twitching means a breaking or a shaking sound. Chirrup is a sound produced by that bird. A suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. As she arrives on the end of the branch of the laburnum tree, there is a sudden jerk in the tree, in the whole tree, and she starts making a chirruping sound there. She moves up her nest like a lizard. Okay, lizard is a reptile which moves very smoothly without making any noise, and alert and abrupt. She is very quick, she is very cautious, and she moves very fast without making any sound, just like a lizard. As you know, a lizard, before attacking its prey, moves very quickly towards that prey without making any sound and without being noticed by that prey. She enters the thickness. Thereafter, she immediately enters the thickness, that is the thickness of the branches and leaves and flowers of that tree where her nest is there, and a machine starts up. Thereafter, a machine like sound, that is as if a machine has been started to produce a particular sound, a loud and continuous sound starts coming from the laburnum top. And what was the source of that sound? You know, there were the young babies of that goldfinch bird which were producing that sound of chittering. So a chittering sound was coming, and a tremor of wings and trilling. Trilling is a sound produced by making fast movement of the tongue between the beak. So there was a trilling sound and a tremor of wings, means wings were fluttering. A fast movement of wings of the young babies of goldfinch were able to produce a machine-like sound, that is a continuous and spontaneous sound, as if a machine has been started there. The whole tree trembles and thrills, means the entire tree was now shaking, which was dull earlier, which was looking like dead. Now it has come to life. It was thrilling, means it was full of excitement because of the movement of the goldfinch bird as well as its baby birds. It is the engine of our family. As you know, a machine requires an engine to get the movement, or to run a machine an engine is required. Similarly, for these young ones, this goldfinch bird is acting as an engine, as well as it is an engine. The whole family of that bird is an engine for the gold, that is laburnum tree, because the laburnum tree is dead, it is still, it is without any movement. But these birds, when start fluttering their wings, when start chirping, and when start making their movement in their nest, the whole tree starts trembling, the whole tree starts shaking. So they are able to provide movement to that tree, so they are also the engine of that tree. So the engine stands for two purposes, that is the goldfinch bird is an engine for her family, and the whole family of that goldfinch bird is an engine for the laburnum tree. She stocks it full, means she fills their belly, she feeds them with the grain or insects, whatever the food she comes with, then floods out to branch, and after feeding them she quickly moves out of the nest and reaches the branch end, okay, branch end, and showing her bird face anti-mask. There, before flying away, she looks here and there so as to confirm that whether anybody is watching her or not. So she wants to hide herself, and there is a natural lining on her face which is providing her a camouflaging, okay, camouflaging, that is she can hide herself, she can hide herself because her face, her feathers are yellow, and there are some yellow lines, yellow and black lines on her face also, which enable her to hide herself, to resemble herself with the flowers of the tree. So one can hardly notice that there is any goldfinch bird sitting over the branch. So that is known as camouflaging, means matching the color with the surrounding. So her natural face, which was having some lines and her yellow color, was providing her a security and a mask to hide her identity. Then with very delicate whistle chirrup whispering, means after that she would produce, that is after reaching the branch end, she would produce a very soft sound, chirruping sound, whispering sound, which she would produce to signal her young ones that she was leaving the tree, and after a while she would return to feed them again. She launches away, she flies away towards the infinite, means in the endless sky. She flies away and gets disappeared after a while, and the laburnum subsides to empty. After she flies away, the laburnum top again comes back to its stillness, means emptiness. It again becomes like dead. Okay, this was the description about the poem. There are the figures of speech, that is, first one is September sunlight. September sunlight means the S consonant sound has been repeated, so this is alliteration figure of speech. thereafter pitching, trilling, chittering, whispering, whistle chirrup, these all are onomatopoeia, figures of speech. And some more are, that is, machine starts up, tremor of wings and trillings. Machine starts up. So this whole family or the birds have been compared with the machine. So this is a metaphor here. Okay, metaphor. Thereafter, trembles and the whole tree trembles and thrills. So dear students, trembles and thrills are the moments which are associated with human beings. So the tree has been compared here with the human beings. So this is personification. This tree has been personified here. So this is personification figure of speech. Tree trembles and thrills. This is personification figure of speech. Also there is one more alliteration, suddenness, a startlement. So S sound has been repeated here. So this is also alliteration figure of speech. You please note them down. Alliteration here also, September sunlight alliteration. Then machine starts up, this is metaphor. Tree trembles and thrills, this is personification. This is personification. And showing her bird face identity mask. Bird face identity mask. This is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet. And thereafter, with very delicate whistle chirp whispering, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. So these were the figures of speech employed in this poem. I hope you have got a complete idea about the entire poem. There is also description given about the laburnum tree. A short tree with hanging branches, yellow flowers and poisonous seeds. Goldfinch is a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings. So this is a very beautiful poem composed by Ted Hughes, and which creates an imagery in our mind that how would it look and what was the relationship between the laburnum tree and the goldfinch. We generally observe the sparrows and many birds in our houses also, and we enjoy their moment. So this is a natural poem which produces a good connect between a bird and a tree. Let us discuss the questions based on this. What do you notice about the beginning and the ending of the poem? Dear students, in the beginning also the laburnum top was silent. The laburnum tree was silent. It was still without any movement. And in the end also, when the goldfinch bird flies away towards the infinite sky, the whole tree again comes back to its original position, that is, it subsides to emptiness. It again becomes still and static. There is no moment, absolutely no moment in the tree after goldfinch flies away. So this is the similarity. In the beginning also it was silent, and at the end also it is found silent, right? This is what we have noticed about the beginning and the ending of the poem. So next question is, to what is the bird's movement compared? Can you recollect? To what is the bird's movement compared? Just try to find the answer. Yes, let me reply. The bird's movement has been compared with a lizard. Okay, a lizard. What is the basis for the comparison? As you know, a lizard moves towards its prey very quickly and very smoothly, very smartly, without producing any sound. A lizard never gets noticed by its prey before it attacks its prey. Okay, like that, the goldfinch bird, after reaching the branch end or after arriving at the branch end, moves quickly, swiftly, without producing any sound towards its nest towards its young babies. So this is the basis of the comparison. Means the goldfinch also doesn't want to get noticed by any human beings or any of the uh, praying birds. Okay, she is quite conscious about her security and the security of her young ones, her young babies. So she makes all the movements just like a lizard. That's why she has been compared with the lizard movement. Why is the image of the engine evoked by the poet? Dear students, as you know that a machine requires an engine to get the moment or to start functioning, to produce the articles, items, or to run. So, to run a machine, we need an engine. We need an engine. Similarly, this laburnum top, this laburnum tree is almost dead, and to provide it life, to give it movement, the goldfinch bird and its family is acting as an engine for the whole tree. Also, the young ones, the young babies of the goldfinch bird are living there quietly till the time she arrives there, she comes to them. So, the goldfinch bird is acting as an engine for its family, right? Before she comes, they all are just like dead creatures. There is no movement at all, neither in the tree nor in the bird babies or the young ones of goldfinch. So we can sum up it like that the goldfinch bird is just like an engine for its young babies, as well as the whole family of goldfinch bird is an engine for the laburnum tree. If any of them is separated, the tree comes to stillness, as well as the baby birds come to stillness. They also stop making any movement. What do you like most about the poem? Yes, this can be your answer, but I hope the most suitable answer from this and the most striking thing you have observed from the poem is that before the goldfinch bird comes to the tree, it is still, there is no movement. But the moment goldfinch comes there, whole tree starts shaking, and a life, it is filled with a life, it is filled with energy. So that is the most beautiful and most striking scene of this poem, which scintillates us, which entertains us the most. What does the phrase her barred face anti-mask mean? The goldfinch bird was having a natural lining on her face. She was having yellow feathers. Also, the laburnum top was covered with yellow flowers. So, there was a resemblance between the face and the feathers of the goldfinch bird with the yellow flowers of laburnum tree. So she was able to hide her identity from the attackers or from the outsiders with the help of the resembling color of flowers of laburnum top. So this is the meaning of barred face identity mask, means she appeared as if she was wearing a mask to hide her identity, and that mask was formed by the lining on her face. There are some sound words, some moment words, and the dominant color in the poem. What is the dominant color in the poem? Yes, obviously this is yellow, because in the September sunlight, the sunlight was also yellow. The goldfinch bird was also having yellow feathers. okay, and the tree was also having yellow flowers. So yellow color is the dominant color in the whole poem. Sound words. Yes, let us notice these sound words. The first one is twitching, chirrup, then chittering, tremor of wings, trilling, and whistle, chirrup, whispering. These are the sound words. These are the sound words we can notice from the poem. Yes, there are some movement words. Movement words, they are the movement words in the poem are, that is, she comes, okay, she enters. Enter tells about a moment. Comes, comes is also a word used for a movement. Thereafter, tremor of wings. Obviously, wings are, when start moving, they produce a tremor, they produce a vibration. So this is also a word which describes about a movement. Launches away means she flies away. This is also movement word. Flirts out. Flirts out means going out silently or secretly. This is also a movement word. Okay. So list the following, and this work I am leaving up to you. Try to find out the answer of these words which describe sleek, alert and abrupt. So sleek is used for lizard, alert and abrupt. Try to find out from the poem. Words with the sound ch as in chart. So ch, chittering, chittering, and chirrup. These are the, what are they, like chittering, chirrup, pitching, ch is here also, chittering, ch is here also. So these are the words which are having these sounds. Then other sounds that occur frequently in the poem. What are the sounds which occur frequently in the poem? Yes, there are some sounds like trilling, twitching means ing. Okay, ing sounds are occurring again and again in this poem, means these are the recurring sounds. Twitching, trilling, chittering, whispering. So ing sound is the recurrent sound in the whole poem. Dear students, this is all for today, and try to read the poem by your own, understand its meaning, try to find out the answer of the questions based on it, identify the figures of speech employed in this, and make notes. Thank you. Have a good day.